Voiceover?
And has so
So that's going on with the music, yes?
lived up to none of his lofty campaign promises. All we have had from Franklin Delano Roosevelt and his so-called brain trust is a great deal of high-flown talk and virtually no action. In a nation racked by poverty, misery, and unemployment, it is deeds we want from the White House, not words. In short, Mr. President, if you are listening, we've had enough of your fireside chats. It is time to... Criticism! Damn it! Nothing but criticism!
I know.
It's awful! Has anyone read the Washington Post this morning?
My friends, I say again, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Every cloud has a silver lining. You're never fully dressed without a smile.
Franklin, Oliver Warbucks, and Fred.
Thank you, Louis. Show them in. Oliver, so nice of you to come.
Good morning, Mr. President.
And who is this we have here?
Oh, Mr. President, this is my good friend Annie. She so wanted to meet you, I couldn't resist bringing her along just to say hello.
Hello!
Annie? Ah, yes, the little girl who sang so beautifully on the radio last night.
Annie, this is President Roosevelt.
How do you do, President Roosevelt?
Well, how do you do, Annie? Why, you're as lovely as you sounded on the radio.
Gee, thanks, President Roosevelt.
Shall we begin?
Annie, if you'll just wait.
No, Oliver, let Annie stay. Having a child on hand will keep us on our best behavior.
Yes, Mr. President. Annie?
Harold, I don't want to hear so much as a gosh out of you.
Maybe.
Now, Oliver, you know everyone, of course, but Annie, let me introduce you. Secretary of Labor, Perkins. Secretary of State, Hall. Acting Secretary of the Treasury, Morgenthau. Secretary of the Interior, Ickes. And my good friend and aide, Mr. Louis Howe. Now, Oliver, since you speak for the happy few Americans who have any money left, I'd like to begin with your view on the matter.
Thank you, Mr. President. In the words of Calvin Coolidge, the business of this country is business. And for the good of you, the country, and me, we've got to get my factories open and the workers back to work. The trouble is...
According to my latest figures, we have 15 million Americans out of work and at least 50 more with no visible means of support.
Mr. President, if I may say, unemployment is not our worst problem. The dispatches in Germany are becoming more and more disturbing each week. There could be war.
Germany, hell! Oh, sorry. There's people starving in this country.
Hell, I know that, but in the long run...
Cordell, for those who are starving, there is no long run.
The trouble is, it's all happening at once. The stock market took another nosedive. Sit-down strikes, hurricanes, floods, dust storms!
And the FBI still haven't caught Capone.
Well, at least we've all agreed on one thing. The situation is hopeless and getting worse.
The sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun.
Oh, shh, quiet, little girl. Harold, what were you saying, Annie? No, go ahead. It's all right. It's still a free country.
Sorry, I was a little late on it.
Just thinking about tomorrow clears away the cobwebs and the sorrow till there's none. When I'm stuck with that day that's gray and lonely, I just stick out my chin and grin.
if there's one thing that this administration is going to be, it is optimistic about the future. Now sing.
Well, really, Franklin, you know that and the sun come out.
Louder, Harold.
Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be so.
Perkins.
Just
Thinking about tomorrow. Put away the cobwebs and the sorrow till there's none.
Solo for the president. When I'm stuck with a day that's gray and lonely, I stick out my chin and grin and say, everybody, you two Republicans, sing!
The sun will come out tomorrow, so you gotta hang on till tomorrow. Come what may, tomorrow, tomorrow, I love ya, tomorrow, you're always a day away. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I love ya, tomorrow, you're always a day
Mr. President, a radiogram.
Thank you. Oh, excuse me, everyone. Oh, it's not for me, it's for you, Oliver.
It is.
Hundreds of people gathered outside house, all claiming to be Annie's parents, have started to screen them. Suggest you return to New York immediately. Signed, Grace Farrell.
Well, Annie, it looks as though the Hour of Smiles has more listeners than we thought.
Gee, hundreds of couples, one of them's bound to be my mother and father.
Well, as much as I have been enjoying your visit, and especially yours, Annie, I suggest you return to New York immediately.
Thank you, Mr. President. Annie,
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Annie.
Bye, President Roosevelt, and thank you.
No, thank you, my dear. You're the type of person a president ought to have around him.
Mr. President, what we need is to create 1,000 federal projects, dams,
highways.
New post offices.
and put the unemployed to work building them.
Why, we could create 5 million new jobs within 6 months.
And with weekly checks, we could get millions off relief and back to paying taxes.
We will build a country so strong that nobody, not even Chancellor Hitler, could ever beat us in a war.
They caught babyface Nelson, didn't they? They're bound to catch Capone.
Mr. President, what we need is to get something really cool going for this country. A new outlook,
A new vision.
A new approach.
a new concept, a new dedication,
A new horizon.
A new spirit.
a new attitude.
A new deal! Perkins, gentlemen, I was right the first time. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.